welcome everybody.
Welcome.
Oh yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, where we at today?
Like, in case you don't know, we are in Miami, Florida.
Miami, Florida, the city of money
Morning.
and exposure.
Exactly.
Yes, that's
More
what's up.
visibility. We're starting to get traction. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Very soon we'll
yeah.
start moving now. So
Yeah.
People are calling us now. Don't worry.
No, we're becoming international. International,
We are
bro.
clocking it.
Yep.
Yeah, welcome guys to another episode of the Turn Up Chronicles. You know, on this segment, like we always say, this segment is actually dedicated to our wonderful host and people that we have on this program, on this episode, where we celebrate people that are building, meaningful careers, lasting legacies, and we just shine the spotlight on them to tell us how they're doing it, and hope we can learn one or two things from them. And we have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing woman today,
Yep.
and we're excited for you guys to meet her as well.
Yep. If you haven't seen it already, like Yemi said, we in this segment of the program, we're trying to interview people that are actually doing things in real life, doing impactful things in real life. We call it people that turn up
Yeah,
in
people
real
that turn
life.
up,
Like if you get the
We get the wordplay.
people that turn up in real life. So we are bringing real life values. Myself and Yemi, we also get personal life values from the things or the people that we interview, and there are practical things they give us that we can actually implement in our real life. So you guys stay tuned. There's going to be a fun-packed episode. Yeah. All right. So with me today, the first title I will give her is my auntie.
Oh my goodness.
My big sister, the people we look up to.
Oh my God.
She is a psychiatric and mental health nurse practitioner and has done so many incredible, amazing things that we're going to talk about later today. She is married to one of the dearest people in my life, also one of the dearest people in my life. Herself and her husband are our mentors, myself and my wife. They mentor myself and my wife. We try to model our lives very similar to the way they model their lives and how they're raising kids. We have with us today my dear auntie and sister, Bola Asonibare.
Oh wow. Thank you so much.
Yep. Hope you're not nervous. Please feel at home. This is your house.
Yeah, we can't even say feel at home again because we're already at your house.
Well, you put me on the spot. Like I'm like, who is he talking about? Is that me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so-
For you guys to know how awesome this episode is gonna be, we had to fly over to come over to
All
house.
the way.
You guys should know that we have something like in stock for you guys, so you guys don't want to miss any part of this episode at all.
Yep. That is true. So we'll start with something light, because sometimes we go real deep into things.
for the jugular.
We'll start with something light. Myself and Yemi will talk about the first time we met you and our impressions of you when we met you. I know Yemi's one was pretty close in the recent history. But the first time I met you, long time ago, I don't even remember what year now, but you had gotten married to my very good friend, who is also going to be on the podcast at some point. And you had just come to America, to the great city of Wichita, Kansas, where legends were made. And at first, he actually gave me a little bit of a headache when I was thinking about it, because we had become so close to Toby, right? And then, okay, Toby's wife is coming. Will she like us? Will she not like us? She has to like us because we have to gel, that kind of thing. So I was, running helter-skelter in my head. We have to make a good impression with her. And you came and it was seamless, so easy. It was like we had known you forever. It was like you were already part of the team, and you just gelled with everybody. Made us even feel more at home than we were. Toby was a bachelor for the most part that we knew him. Right. And then, bringing a wife made him more centered, and, made him that figure that, we kind of look up to. So thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you so much.
I am so honored to be here, and the feeling is mutual. I look up to you guys.
As the boy, I don't want any nose. It's okay. We'll take it.
I'm not kidding, but yeah, for real. You guys have been a very integral, important important part of my life. Yimika being family also, and you know, your own family, and meeting you too.
Yeah.
Like it's such an honor to see great minds doing great things.
Yep.
And for those people to now be your own people.
Yep.
So
And the funny thing is, we're actual family now. Before, we weren't related
Right.
by anything, but now we're related because my wife's sister's husband, so Ife's older sister's husband, is married to her husband's cousin. So we're
she's
actually,
Asonibare.
yeah, she's also Asonibare. My wife's,
really?
yeah, my wife's sister's
Wow.
last name is
Small
Asonibare.
world,
yeah.
So we're actually family. If you
Yeah,
think of it,
facilitates
yeah, we don't know who facilitated, but we thank God.
It happened. Oh,
We
that's so
thank God it
sweet.
happened. Yemi, how about you? What's your impression when you met her?
Oh, I mean, although it was really very short, but I knew it was at your naming, your daughter's naming.
Yes.
But I know we had a little bit of a chat before then, and it didn't feel uneasy at all. It was just like straight in. Because I already heard about you guys, so meeting you was not it was not like strange to me, but having to put a face to the name, so it was really nice to just introduce myself, and your husband was awesome. We just judged straight away, and my wife they were already talking. I was like, see, this is the kind of people I like, because I want to meet people. I just want to see if we just vibe immediately, and it was just seamless, like Okpe said, and I think that actually resonates with us as well. Like if relationships, if it's so seamless at first, you know that there's a long-lasting story to it. You don't have to force it. If it's natural, it would just last forever. So I am honored to meet you guys, to know you guys as well, and hopefully learn more things from you as well.
All right.
Thank you.
We're going to dive right into the questions. This is a question we like to ask a lot of our guests because most of the people we are interviewing right now are Africans in diaspora, Nigerians in diaspora, whatever, in diaspora, doing big things. And because we come here already with so many obstacles in our way, it's always a good thing for our viewers to find out, how we overcame some of these obstacles.
Right.
So I'll start out with this question. How was it like moving to America as a full-grown adult? And then not only moving to America as a full-grown adult, but moving as a wife. I remember when you came, you were pregnant actually.
Yes, I was.
When you were moving to America. How was that process like? Like when you go to America, what did you think of America? What was that process like?
So yeah, coming to America, jumping that hurdle from being in Nigeria, being married and alone, in a way, and being pregnant. All I wanted to do was just come here and be with my husband. I didn't care how we'll figure things out as time goes on. So that was the mindset that I had. I didn't have like any big plans like, oh, this is what I was going to do. I just knew, the man and the woman were married and we should be together as a family. So now coming here, I had an open mind because I didn't know. I'd never been to America before. I didn't really know what to expect. And I was also ready for challenges, right? Because if you're going into any new thing or any new place, it comes with challenges. But then the challenges that I faced coming were like, it felt like my life was a little delayed at the time. And, now looking back in retrospect now, I feel like maybe I expected, even though I didn't have a lot of expectation, but then there were still some expectations that were in the back of my mind that were not met at that time. And I felt like, oh, all my mates are gone, and then my visa status at the time, I couldn't work.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't go to school. So it just felt like I was just in a spot. I wasn't moving forward. But then my husband, if you know him, he's a very, he thinks positive, maybe a little bit too much sometimes. So he would always encourage me and he would always help me see things from a different light. Like, okay, these your mates that you said they have gone. Some of them would trade places with you in an instant like that.
Yep, that is true.
So even though you are here right now, but at least it's an open door to bigger things. So, and then I started seeing things from that light, like, okay, yes, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be.
Yep.
So it was a little rocky to start, but as time went on, we figured things out one day at a time, one step at a time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think I want to ask something in regards to that. How long were you away from your husband before you moved over?
So first off, we had a long distance relationship.
Yep.
So he was here in America, I was in Nigeria. So we would always talk and talk and talk. And then he came home one time to visit. That was when I showed him to my parents. And then the next time that he came home, maybe like 5 years later, we were ready to be married.
Wow.
So we had like a 10-year relationship.
Wow.
Long distance.
Long distance.
Wow.
And then when we got married, it was like, I think I came here like 6 months after the marriage.
Yep.
Wow. 10
wedding.
years long distance marriage.
Yeah.
Relationship.
Relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Wow, 10 years.
That's one for the books.
I know.
I mean, if you were to go back, I mean, in today's world, right? Would you advise that?
Would you advise people to
10
in
years
long
long
distance
distance.
relationships or
I would not say no. I would just say know what you're going into.
yes.
Because it was challenging.
I bet.
Yep.
You know, knowing that, okay, you don't know what this person is doing, where they are. And you already kind of chased away every other suitor. So it's like putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
But there was one thing that I told God that time. I said, God, because whenever I prayed about, getting married or, who to marry, and there were many other people that came at that time, at the same time. And I didn't hear God say, this is your husband. But whenever I mentioned his name, I just had this peace. This complete peace.
Yep.
Like that was the word, the completion. And I couldn't place I couldn't place any finger on the fact that, oh, he's the one, but that was what I felt. So, and I told God, I said, God, every other person that's coming, whenever they came, I'm not the type that would say, yeah, I don't, abuse them and tell them to go. No, I will say, oh, I know you're also a good person, but I already have somebody.
Yeah.
So I was already, chasing them away like that. And I'm like, God.
Don't let this don't let all of this.
Gamble on this man.
So I said, God, I put all my eggs in your basket.
That's
And-
the best basket to put your eggs in.
And also, so I knew that it was challenging having a long distance relationship, and also just trying to figure things out because we didn't know how things, would be. So put my eggs in one basket. God figured me out.
Awesome. So go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I mean, I don't want to shy away from that fact because it's a lot of work to make a 10 years long distance relationship work. It is amazing.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
I will say, like on this, you can even call us the crew of long distance relationships here, because Yemi has had the element of long distance. He just started living with his wife just a year now after they've been married for 5 years, almost 5 years. Myself and Yimika's story, how we lived in Texas and I was all over the Midwest, and long distance for 6 years. So we have a little. So once you mentioned long distance, it was a trigger point for all of us.
It was a trigger point for us, and that's why I wanted to bring the point home. Like, sometimes delay, sometimes it brings that serious awesome gratification because it didn't look. I can imagine what you went through for that 10 years. Even for that 15 years or so. Even for me, it's a lot of nights whereby you're having to, your husband will probably be having to like beg you some other time you to be like crying I can't imagine it. So it's really nice to hear things like this, and also give a sense of a warm feeling for anyone like going through that
same kind
that
of
long distance or long
and there are a lot of
relationship
people
thing. They are, and they're trying to understand like, am I the only one in this world? Like it's nice to have this platform and say no, this has happened to other people, it will pass, you will still get over it. There's light at the end of the tunnel as well.
It's not impossible. It's hard.
It is.
But if you know what you're going into and we got on your side, you can do it.
And when you find the right person that's worth it, you will
I was going to touch on that real
you
quick.
will not long distance.
It's not for everybody is what I was gonna say. The two of you, both the man and the woman, both of you have to be ready for it. If one person is not quite ready for it, it will be the most difficult thing you've ever done in your life.
That's right.
Anyway, we're gonna keep moving forward. That was a good place to start. So We talked about you moving to America. Now, I know this personally. You came here and almost basically had to do school over again.
That's right.
And you had done school, been done with that in Nigeria, and came here. But now you're coming here and you're not only doing school all over again, now you're raising kids, now you are living with your husband, you guys are a young family, now you guys are going through struggles of life, trying to figure out different things. So my question is, how was that process like? Like coming here, starting all over again, being married, raising kids, and what kept you going through all that time, and how were you able to get to where you are today? That's a loaded question, but
Yeah. Yes. So starting over was challenging. I would not lie about that. It was a lot of work, and it took a lot of determination, because there were times that I just wanted to quit or settle for less. Like, for example, when I was in nursing school, and the school I went to, I don't know of other schools, my school was difficult. It was hard. And whenever we went to clinicals, whenever we were shadowing nurses, I would see techs, not to talk down on techs, but I'm like, their own work is easy. I can just be a tech. I thought that several times. But then two things kept me going. One, I'm usually self-driven. Like whenever I have a plan or something that I want to do,
that is true.
I don't need a push. I don't need anyone to encourage me.
That is very true.
So once I say I want to finish my bachelor's by so year, I will work hard to get it.
Yep.
So
and I've seen this real life too. So she ain't even
so I had
you.
that one going for me. And then two, I had people that I looked up to. And it didn't matter whether they were younger than me or older than me. So I had people that were already nurses that I'm like, I want to do what those people are doing. Like it looks like what they have going on is good.
Yes.
So I want to be like them. And so I would all push like one class at a time. Even when there was a time I was pregnant with Tony, my daughter, and I had to drop out of school because I was really sick. So, and I think I took maybe like 3 months after I had her, I had my mom here taking care of her at that time. So I had to drop off, and then I told myself I'm going back. And on my first day back, I was crying because I'm like, what did I lose? What am I looking for? So there were a lot of times that the mom guilt will come, like your children are little, you can just stay
just stay at home. Why are you doing this?
I'm like, no, I just could not settle for that. So, and this is not to shame anyone who wants to be a stay-at-home mom. It's not for everyone. I don't want to be a stay-at-home mom, although I don't want to work too much too.
The right balance.
So it was really challenging, but it took a lot of tenacity, a lot of effort, a lot of goal setting to say this is what I want to do, and being true to it.
Awesome. That's a really good answer. Now, a lot of these things, as she's saying it, like she's giving examples. I know these examples as she's saying it, so I can relate like 100% through what she's saying. And in those times, sometimes we'll be having those conversations, and you'll be like, everything's just so tough. I want to, drop out and things like that. But then we'll be looking forward to the future, and that future at that time might look like it's kind of far and all of that, but we thank God that, today we're living in those times. We really thank God. You hear me?
Yes. My question is, we're going to dive into your career a little bit. Okay. So what made you pursue like psychiatric, like mental health? I know there are different like specialties in nursing, but what made you really go for like mental health and psychiatry?
Okay, so back home in Nigeria, we didn't know anything about mental health.
That is very true.
Like now people are getting more aware. But back then, if you say you feel depressed, it's just like maybe you're down and then you're up the next day, you're okay, you figure things out. But honestly, when I was in nursing school and they were teaching us about depression, I didn't understand it. Honestly, they were talking about the serotonin, the neurotransmitters. I'm like, I didn't get it because what is depression? You're just down. You'll be okay. So that class it was easy for me because I was able to study and pass, but I didn't get it. So if they told me that I would be a psych nurse practitioner today, then I would say it's not possible. But now going into, becoming a nurse, working in med surg, I saw that a lot of the patients that I took care of had one mental health issue or the other.
Wow.
Majority, I would say 90% of my med surg patients at the time would be on some mental health medication.
Wow.
So that was when I started raising eyebrow, like, it looks like there's actually something to this. So, and then, I just put that in the back burner. I just kept doing my med surg. And then we moved to Florida. And these mentors that I told you that I look up to, they already went ahead to get their psych nurse practitioner.
Shout out to the mentors. You know yourself.
You know yourself, the two of them. So, and then one of them called me and was like, at that time, because I stayed home, because my husband was traveling a lot, so I didn't work for those 2 years. And she called me and was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm considering going back to med-surg. And she was like, have you considered psych? Me and this other mentor, we did this and that. And I'm like, okay. And then I prayed about it. And I said, God, if it's your will for me to, be a psych nurse practitioner or be a psych nurse, I want to apply for a psych nurse RN job. And I want to apply for psych MP school. And I want both to go through like at once. I tell you, everything happened within a space of less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
Applying to school, getting, admission to start my master's program, and also getting job interview. They were even calling me. I was one saying, wait, like I was the one actually stalling.
Speaking, yeah.
So, and then I got that job. They offered me, the pay they offered me, I told them I wanted more, and they added more to it. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
It feels like this is, God is in this one. So, and that's how I started. I became a psych registered nurse. I was doing that while I was also in school for my nurse practitioner. So I got the experience of actually working with psych patients because I work in an inpatient psych facility. While also doing school. So I learned, the medications, the interactions with psych patients, and, here I am.
Wow. So if you want to, for people that are watching and Nigerians or anyone that you want to dumb it down for people, how can we, because you made a statement earlier that you didn't relate when you were in school about that depression. How can we, let's say Nigerians, or how can we, or just an average person, be able to understand that fine line between just being down and being depressed?
To add to that, before you answer, generally Africans, Nigerians, Black people in general, don't take mental health as seriously.
That's true.
That time, if you said you are feeling depressed in Nigeria, they might even beat you. Like, what is depression? Or they'll say, go and sleep, or take a cold shower or something, just some random remedies. But we all know now that depression is a huge thing. Right. So to our community, when you're giving your answer to our community, how can you explain in such a way that, everybody understands and knows that it's a big deal?
Yeah. So talking about mental health generally, anxiety, sometimes depression could be like a natural response to any kind of trigger. Like you're going through a difficult time, you should be anxious. That's the body's natural response.
Yep.
So, but then when the time it becomes pathologic is when it starts impacting your day-to-day activities. So, for example, normally you would go out and play basketball, right? Now you're so depressed to an extent where you no longer find pleasure in doing the things that you used to enjoy. Now you're at home, maybe you're overeating or you're undereating, you're not sleeping well, and you're not able to function well at home. You're not able to function well on your job. It's now impacting to a point where things are not going where they're supposed to go or how they're supposed to go. That's when, you should start considering seeking help.
Okay.
Yeah. So the pathologic part of things is the impact on your day-to-day life.
Oh, okay. So
Awesome.
it's not usually like an isolated case. It spreads out over time.
Yes.
It starts affecting every area of your
Yes,
life.
you notice that today you just feel down, okay, and then you use your coping mechanisms, maybe deep breathing, exercising, and it works. Yes, that's okay. But then when you start using those things, they no longer work, and now you can't function the way you're supposed to. You should get help.
So mental health, depression, psychiatry is such a huge thing to get into.
Yeah.
And we're sorry to our viewers, we can't really get into all of that today.
Right.
But what we can do is maybe at some point, because I know the two other people, the mentors she's talking about, maybe at some point we can, maybe that one will be virtual,
Right.
but do an interview with all of them and we can really dive into mental health and all that. Such a big thing that is overlooked in our community that, we really need to shed more light on. We're going to change directions a little bit on here.
Okay.
We're going to talk about marriage a little bit. Me and Yemi, we always like to ask marriage questions because we are married and want to stay married, right?
Yes.
And we are looking for tips and tricks to what people do to kind of keep things free flowing and easy in their marriage. So I guess my question is, what would you say have been, or what would you say are typically the biggest challenges in marriage, and how do you and your husband overcome those challenges?
Oh, okay. So with family or with, managing marriage with my husband, yeah, we've had challenges. And that included, having to deal with family outside of me and him, and being able to stand up for each other.
Yep.
And being able to speak up for even when, I know that he's wrong, but to cover or to cover for him, to cover for each other. So that's one of the challenges that we faced early in our marriage. But then as time went on, we knew what we wanted. We knew that we chose each other, and we had to stand by that.
Gotcha.
And that has really helped us, to move on with that.
That's great. It's so a lot of times, like, the factors that affect marriage are not necessarily the factors in the marriage.
Yes.
And sometimes there are external factors. It can be friends, it can be family, it can be co-workers or influences it can be church safe.
That's right.
It can be your pastor at church that is doing so many things. So it's really good to be able to, put things in the places they're supposed to be and make sure that you and your spouse are communicating on the same frequency you're supposed to. I'm going to ask a follow-up question to that. Okay. A big problem that we see in a lot of marriages, and a problem, or not a problem, but a challenge in marriage, is finances. And I know a little bit of how you guys do your finances, but what would you say has been your biggest hack when it comes to finances in marriage?
I would say talking about things. Talking through things. We've learned to do that. And I want to, give a big shout out to my husband, because he's been very supportive. I told you when I initially came, I couldn't work, but this man did not make me feel like I wasn't earning anything. So from the beginning, he was open about finances, like how much he was making. And then when he got credit card, at that time, he even got credit card in my name, such that I could go spend. I mean, I'm not unreasonable, but I could go buy anything that I wanted, and he wouldn't ask about it. Of course, me too, I would use my sense. So I wouldn't spend anyhow. But yeah, so he taught me that. And that had been our standard since the beginning, being open about things, how much is coming in, how much we're expecting, what is going towards where, what we'll use to support the family, what we'll spend on ourselves, because that's also important too. So being open. Now, I know some people may not, their marriages don't work like that, where, the husband doesn't know how much the wife is making, the wife doesn't know how much the husband is making. Ours is not like that. And the way we've done it so far has really worked for us, being open and not hiding anything about things. And just it takes a lot of planning too, because we actually sit down from time to time and plan, itemize things, how, what's coming in, how we're spending things. And my husband is a more bigger spender than me.
I can testify to that.
So it takes a lot of checks and balances, right? Like I have to be like, hey, dude, you are doing too much there. So yeah, that's how we operate.
All right, awesome, good. Over to you.
Well, we're gonna keep tilting and keep pivoting. So we'll ask marriage acts as it goes by. But my question is, because you're in, and I'll probably still be going back to your field as well, because you probably you have a sensitive job,
right?
Whereby you deal with people day in, day out. And, my question is for in that field, very sensitive mental health, psych, how do you avoid letting it spill into your marriage, into your family? Because
good question.
It's like, I don't want to call you a therapist, but, it's like listening to those stuff every day. And if you don't, I don't know, you don't offload somewhere, it might...
Be
you might
too
bring
much.
it on, but
Yeah.
how do you do that it doesn't spill into you don't react or passive aggression towards your husband or your kid? How do you manage that?
Yeah. So one thing that I do, or that I'm trying to do more, is just like offload some of this pressure, because it's a lot of pressure. I bet. It's a lot of you hear things, sometimes your ears will tingle that I've never heard this before, but people are going through things in life. So I try to distress. Like now I've decided I'll be going to the beach every 2 weeks and go and dip inside the ocean.
Hey, that's good.
Yes, it takes off the pressure.
That's only available to people that live close to the beach.
And then getting also in the pool.
Yeah.
Yes, I do that too. And massage, like whatever I can do, however little, to just reset myself. I don't have to go on a big vacation to do that. Little me time. Like I'm like, babe, I want to go get a massage. Oh, babe, bye. Things like that, just to not lose it. Because honestly, you could lose it with this profession. And then the second thing that I do, I pray for my patients too. Yes, I do.
Big hack.
For real, I do, because when I took this job, I took it because it has a big impact on people. The people that I meet with every day, and me not being judgmental too, because there's some things that people go through, you think in your mind, were you dumb? Like, what were you
that this small thing.
So but I pray for my patients, and I just pray that God will help them, because beyond what I can do as a provider, prescribe medications or just do therapy or whatever with them, God can solve their problems. So I do pray for my patients. So
awesome.
Feedback.
Did you have a follow-up on that?
No. I just love the answer. It's you heard that sometime where they say, like, even your therapist has a therapist. It's really real, because someone has to offload somewhere, and I like the fact that it's nice for people to know that you're also human. You also have to be able to have that moment whereby you can just let loose and just be free. So and I like that fact whereby you talk about bringing your faith into what you do, which is really important. As Christians, and that's one of the ways that we can't all be pastors, right? We can't, but the little areas whereby we walk and function, we can just be a change person over there.
Awesome.
And thank you for that answer.
Thank you.
Yeah, gonna move quick. We don't want the episode to be too long also. So gonna move quick into still on family, raising kids. I'm a new dad. Me is a dad of two active toddlers right now.
That's a fun age.
And I know you now have a teenager, raising kids past 10 years old at this point. So what has been, we're always looking for hacks and tips. What has been your go-to things to do to make sure you're raising your kids the right way?
So with that, my husband and I, we've been very intentional about some things. Me especially, I've seen things in people's kids that I told myself from when my kids were little that my kid will not be like that. Like whatever it will take, is it prayer, is it fasting, whatever I gotta do, discipline, I will do everything. And obviously the God factor,
Yeah.
because there's nothing that we can do in this life except God helps us.
Yeah.
So I am always like, God, please help me. And God has always come through for us. When our kids were little, our income wasn't that much because my husband was the only one working, and I had to go to school. We had to figure out, daycare and all those things. I always prayed that, God, please help us. And he would just come through. We will find a daycare that is like affordable where we could put them. And just, at each point in time, we even had one of our friends' moms come help us at the time to take care of our kids.
Yeah.
And that also helped us cut costs. So we were able to figure things out one step at a time. Like I didn't have a whole big nanny, everything figured out. No, it was just one little step at a time. And like being intentional about discipline, right? Raising your children intentionally.
That's a big one. We were talking about it off camera, but that's a big one.
So being able to say no and also love your children and communicate with them, because one thing that my husband and I, when I say we do, is that we're like, we don't just. Yes, we beat our children when they were younger and whenever they didn't listen. But we didn't just beat them and say bye-bye. We actually sat them down,
Tell them why.
let them know this is what you did, or tell me what you did, so that they can also think things through. And why do you think I beat you? If you did it this way, do you think I would have beat you? So they learned to behave well. They learned to reason. So as a result of being intentional about raising children and loving them and letting them know everything, like I'm not the parent that will say, oh, I will do all the work for you. No, you will also work because I'm working. You don't have an excuse not to work hard. So your own work is to go to school, study, do your assignments, and you will do that. I will do my part as a parent to provide for you.
Everybody has to play their part.
Yes, so communicating with your children from time to time and not being far away from them, let them be open to you. At the same time, discipline. So it's like they say, you will beat them with one hand, you will draw them close with the other. Something like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. You want?
Oh yeah. So I know you talked about the discipline factor, which is a big factor to raising kids. I know we're saying something off camera, like there's no way that you can raise a child without discipline and expect that child to turn out well. It's not. They go hand in hand because kids are always going to test that boundary. So you always have to set that line. So we completely agree with that. My other question is towards ambition, right? We're Africans, whereby as Africans, number one, we're always going to set a standard already, right? And now we're going to have kids that we're going to expect them to either meet up to that standard or exceed that standard. Right. Now, two things in the area of, are we pressurizing them or do we want them to do better than us? So my question in regards of ambition is, how do you play around that? And do you, or what's your wiggle room in terms of ambition for your kids? Are you like, no, I've done masters in MP, the least degree anybody can have in this house is a master's? Or are you gonna be like, what do you want to do? Or, what are your thoughts?
So I will add to your question real quick. Okay. If your child wakes up tomorrow and they say, I want to be a ballerina, what would be your response?
Because we live in America, I'll ask them why. They have to let me understand why they think that's the way they want to go, or the way they should go. And, we have to sit down and things have to check. Is it going to pay your bills?
Like realistic things.
Yes, because I let my kids understand, yes, my dad and your dad and I were working hard, but you will not be here forever. So don't think, oh, this is our house. Yes, it's our house right now, but it's not your house. So the fact that, we're okay here does not mean that you will be here forever. So we're letting them see that they will also have to go out there and fend for themselves.
Hustle.
So if you want to be a ballerina, okay, how can you make money from it? Is it going to pay your bills? Is it going to be okay for you to live with yourself and also raising a family.
So I'm going to interject here.
Poke the beer.
Yeah, I will. What did they say? For instance, they say, "Mom, I haven't figured out the money part yet, but I know that's my passion.
I don't want to go to school.
And that's my true calling. That's what I want to do for the rest of my life." How would you handle that?
I will pray that God should change that. No, for real, because children, or when you're younger, you're dumb. You know, they say we're young and dumb. Yes, because you're not thinking all the options, all the things that need to be thought. You're not thinking it through. So I will just pray for God to show them the right way, because at that point, I mean, after trying to convince them, after trying to have them be rational and to be able to say, okay, this and that does not check, and you know what to do about that.
Yeah, because kids, their passion or their interest changes over time.
Yes. Yeah, even as adults, our passion and interest change still.
That's true. So, I mean, I just pray that God will just guide them, and if God needs to change their mind, He will do that.
Yeah, I think that's a big part for. I mean, I know you guys are getting closer to that stage more than us, so that's the reason why we're asking those questions, because we want to be able to know that, okay, when it comes to this part, we
can ask a cool question. Is college a deal breaker for you? If your kid says they're not going to college, is it a deal breaker?
I mean, they've not said that, right? But if they do, like I said, I will have them explain to me why they're not going to college. Yeah. And what are they going to do?
So it's not a deal breaker?
It's not, but it is too. I don't know, because it's not a deal breaker, because you don't have to go to college to make it in life. True. In this world that we live in of today. Yep. But then they have to have something doing. So if that thing is now like, okay, no, this one, maybe he became a basketballer and, and he's making but at the end of the day, I will still encourage them to get education. So, but yeah, absolutely. I guess it's not a deal breaker, but then you have to have a solid, solid backup
alternative. I think I agree with that. You might probably not pursue what you studied, but at least have that degree. Just keep it.
Yeah, sorry, Yemi, I cut into you earlier. You were gonna say something.
I lost my chin.
You're good. You're good.
That question was really good. Like, is it a deal breaker? Yeah, exactly. And that's part of my question.
I think about that.
You got a bachelor, you got a master's, like your husband's got a master's. Like, at one point, is he like, bruh, you gotta get a degree or what's up?
The thing about that question is, like, me personally, I don't know. Yeah. Because that question, for instance, in my house, like, not me and my wife, but with my siblings and my parents, I'm the least educated person, and I have a master's. Wow. I know, like, in your house, both of you will have PhDs, or both of you have PhDs, and your kids saying they don't want to go to college or coming up with something like that might be a hard thing to
they have to go to college
to swallow.
They might not do PhD, at least, because when they grow up, I'm guessing at that point, masters will be like bachelors at that point. So they will probably have a master's. Right. So, but I don't expect them to have a PhD. I don't. Just get something.
Yeah, get a degree. Yeah. It's always,
the last or the final few questions we're gonna ask is, and this will give us a segue into your husband's part of things, but I wanted you to answer. Is, I know you guys are into so many businesses. We don't need to disclose here, but you guys are into so many businesses, doing so many things. I know one I can mention is real estate. Yeah. You guys have done rental, short-term, mid-term, Airbnb, buying, selling, all sorts in real estate. But my question is, how do you guys balance that? You guys both have, like, jobs full time. You guys have so many things you're doing. You guys are committed in church. You guys are raising kids, and now you have all these businesses that can possibly replace your income at some point, or possibly replace your jobs at some point. How do you guys balance that? How do you guys maybe we can invest more here or invest more there? How do you guys do that? Because it amazes me how you guys do it, to be honest.
Honestly, I cannot really take credit. My husband he had a vision. And me, I didn't see it then. Honestly, when he was talking about, so when we first bought our first property, it was a condo, right? And
The one in Plano, right?
No, not Plano. It was in McKinney.
Oh, McKinney, yeah.
Yes. So, and I just had Tony then. So we had 2 little kids, a 3-bedroom condo. It was perfect. And it felt like you've been in a rented apartment before this time. So this is good. Like I can retire here. But not a few months into when we moved into the house, my husband was like, we should start looking for another property. I'm like, is this guy crazy? Like,
We just go here.
like, let us drink water on this one. But he had a vision, and he, but me, all I could think about was what if we now buy and then we didn't find someone to rent it? I was being very critical about it. But then I didn't want to also draw him back. So I had faith. Little faith, however, that okay, go and be looking. So he was the one looking for the property, right? And then before long, we found the property. We moved into that single family, and then we rented out the condo. And I think we were paying at the time $12.50 or something in mortgage for the condo. When we rented it out,
The good old days of good mortgage and interest.
And then we rented it out. I think it was close to $2,000. So on one property, we were making
800 cash flow.
Cash flow of 800. And like my eyes open. I said, hey.
Say no more.
Say no more. So I now became like the driving force behind him at the time to go and look for more property. And then I was more invested because now I saw the possibility.
Yeah.
Then I didn't see because I was so myopic that what if this and that. So, and then the following year, we got 2 properties in the same year.
Wow.
Because, and then we saved a lot of money too. Like, there's something called RSPP or something in my husband's job. So they take out that amount of money, like a particular percentage, before the money actually comes into your account. So you are just saving it. So we're stashing up that money, and then whenever it got to a level, we would purchase a rental property, and then like the duplex, triplex, like that. So it took a lot of saving money, and not just saving it to put in your account, but actually to invest it whenever it was substantial.
I know you guys don't let money sit.
No.
You guys are always investing.
Yes. So, but my husband is a really big driving force when it comes to that. Like he had that vision and he was able to run with it. And then I saw it later. I'm now like, we should have bought like 20.
More like 20.
At that time.
So, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. Yemi, do you have a follow-up for that?
No, I mean, I think I picked up on something she said. Like, sometimes it is okay not to see the vision, but if you can support the vision,
Believe, support who sees the vision.
As a couple, as one, I think that was the lesson I learned, that sometimes might not be clear to you, but you still you had faith, you still believed in him. You might not see the vision, but you believed in your husband, and it worked out. So I think that's a good lesson from it as well.
Awesome. I just want to thank you for being on the podcast. I know it's not your most convenient thing to do, but I also know that it is something that you don't mind, and you're very passionate about certain things, and you have a lot of knowledge to share. Also, thank you for having us in your house. All the good food we had on the jam yesterday night.
I had a blast.
We had fish, so many things, and just thank you for welcoming us again into your house.
Absolutely.
We want to say a big thank you for that, and we'll probably have you back, talk more about mental health. We're going to be interviewing your husband on this trip as well, because we have to kill 2 birds with one stone on this, and we'll talk about some more things. But we appreciate you being here, and we hope our audience was able to get a thing or two. If you have questions, you can leave it in the comments. If you don't feel comfortable leaving in the comments, DM us. YouTube, Instagram, everywhere. We're going to put our Instagrams will be on the screen as well. So if you need help, or know somebody that needs help when it comes to psychiatry or mental health, or you just want to ask a question, please let us know. We can forward the questions to her, or we can fill that in a way that is conducive for everybody. So thank you very much.
Thank you
very
so much.
Mrs.
It's an honor.
Asonibare.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, the Turn Up crew. I'm so
love
happy
the
to be here.
episode. I learned something about mental health. It's
Yep.
really nice. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Once again, my name is Yemi, the Turn Up MC,
I am DJ Opie.
and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.